From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story tonight, troopers say a binocular case, possibly belonging to the victim of yesterday's fatal hit and run, was found under a truck belonging to the suspect outside of his residence.
30-year-old Dustin Dollarhide was arraigned today in Fairbanks District Court in connection to the case, charged with manslaughter, driving under the influence, and failure to give notice of an accident. The victim, Giddy Strin, was riding her bicycle when Dollarhide allegedly hit and killed her on Cole Road in Healy. He then left the scene of the accident. Troopers later found his truck with matching damage to the front end and pieces of plastic that matched those of the scene. He told troopers he remembered thinking if he went home and went to bed, the incident would, quote, go away. Dollarhide provided a breathalyzer sample of .202 after the accident. It's believed the point of impact occurred off the roadway in the ditch where she was found. Dollarhide is being held without bail at Fairbanks Correctional Center.
Now, you're not going to be released today. I'm assuming the state is saying there's a presumption against release on this, correct? Yes. Okay. So you're not going to be released today. You can't get out of jail today. There's no bail being set for you. Are you going to hire your own attorney, or do you want to have the court appoint one for you because you could not afford an attorney?
I believe I'm going to hire one.
So get your attorney hired. You're going to need one.
A North Pole man charged with burglary in the first degree was sentenced yesterday in Fairbanks Superior Court. 24-year-old Richard William Manco received a reduced sentence of 6 months in jail in connection to the case. Manco was caught after a homeowner in North Pole found him in her residence attempting to steal pills last September. She told authorities he begged her not to phone police and that he had accidentally gone into the unlocked home thinking it was a friend's. His lawyers yesterday asked for leniency, arguing once he knew he was caught, he complied with the law.
He'd only been in the home for a few moments, seconds. He more or less panics, runs to the back of the house looking for another exit, realizes there's no point, my vehicle's in the driveway. So he walks back and he walks out of the house and actually speaks with Mrs. Miller, the victim in this case, at her vehicle. And so and he didn't refuse to leave the home, or there was no confrontation in the home, but I think the way it's worded suggests that maybe there was something more, some sort of confrontation that took place in the home, or that he refused to leave, and that's not what we have here.
A potentially life-threatening incident on one of the city's busiest roadways during rush hour Thursday night sent one man to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital with unspecified injuries. Alaska State troopers responded to a vehicle versus pedestrian accident in the 400 block of University Avenue. Troopers on scene say an unidentified male riding a bicycle left the west sidewalk and traveled onto the roadway. The bike collided with the right-hand side of a late model Dodge pickup that was headed south on University. The bicyclist was taken to FMH with injuries sustained from the collision. The driver of the truck was unhurt. Alaska State Trooper Jacob Lesson says with summer in full bloom, there are more bicyclists near roadways and they need to stay alert.
We have a lot of people that enjoy the use of bicycles and things like that. A lot of people like to get out and be athletic and everything. So one of the things that I can stress is be very cognitive of your environment. Know that it's rush hour, know that you're on a sidewalk, you're near a driven roadway where there's lots of people operating vehicles, and that it's everybody's responsibility to look out for each other. So even if you think that you're on top of things and paying attention, somebody else might not be. So you need to kind of go the extra mile to understand where you're at and what you're doing.
Yesterday, U.S. Senator Mark Begich took to the Senate floor to voice his support for the Veterans Access Reform Bill. The bill passed the Senate 93-3 and includes several provisions already being implemented successfully in Alaska. Begich said it takes a critical step to improve access to care for thousands of veterans in Alaska and across the nation. It gives the Secretary of Veterans Affairs authority to dismiss senior executives in the system if it's determined that they aren't doing their job.
But also it ensures that if there are situations, as we've heard and seen and been shown to us, that there are people who falsified data, then they're going to be held accountable. And as you know, recently we've heard the FBI now is reviewing some of those situations. Whoever's at fault and has done anything to falsify needs to be held accountable and brought to justice.
All right, when we come back, what's up with gas prices? We answer that question.
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
Also, members of the Chamber of Commerce took a trip to a tunnel today. We'll explain the details when the Fbx Evening News continues. Stay with us.
Welcome back. For a long time, we've had gas price stability in the lower 48 and in Alaska. The national average of $3.64 a gallon right now is 2 cents different than it was a year ago. It's been pretty much the same in Alaska until recently. The average price in the state is $4.03 a gallon, up 11 cents from a month ago. In Fairbanks, the high is about $4.08 and the low $3.77. Petroleum economists say the stability may be coming to an end soon because of the situation in Iraq.
That to come to an end because of these problems in Iraq and because of the sharp increase that we've seen in the last few days in crude oil prices. Crude is at $107 a barrel. I'm referring to the West Texas Intermediate crude, and that's the highest price that we've seen in the last 9 months. Iraq exports more than 3 million barrels a day, and as long as there's all of this violence going on in and near Baghdad, the oil fields and pipelines are very much at risk.
Members of the Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce took a field trip to the Permafrost Tunnel Research Facility today. The tunnels near Fox are maintained by the U.S. Army to study geology and construction techniques to deal with permafrost. Since the first tunnel was excavated 50 years ago, the research has led to more than 100 peer-reviewed publications. The Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce maintains an active relationship with the local military, and members wanted to learn about the future of the facility. The site manager says the tunnels can continue to be useful.
Municipalities are really uncertain. Villages, Fairbanks, Fort Wainwright, those areas, they're wondering what climate change means to them in a permafrost environment. So the studies, hopefully some of the studies that we do here will help to answer some of those questions so that people can do the appropriate planning.
Summer vacation is settled in and kids may be looking for new hobbies and entertainment. The J.P. Jones Center has new summer camps to guide their search for fun. Starting next week, kids can learn to dance during a 5-day camp. The following weeks are dedicated to cooking and culture classes. Like previous years, there are also math and science camps. J.P. Jones will be hosting the events through July, and organizers say the new camps offer a good social education.
We've had a lot of different dances at the J.P. Jones over the center, so it encourages kids that maybe don't know how to dance or sort of wallflowers, don't want to get out on the dance floor because they don't know how to dance, to be able to join the fun. Well, why cooking? Everybody needs to eat, so a lot of children just grow up not knowing how to cook. So that, I think, is an important skill that everyone needs to learn.
To sign up for summer camps with J.P. Jones, go to their website, jpjonescdc.com. We have also posted a link at webcenter11.com.
It's time once again for another segment of gardening tips. Tonight, you'll learn how to thin out your crops for better production.
Hi, this is Stephen Seifelt with the Cooperative Extension Service, and I'm here at Rosy Creek Farm, and we're going to be talking about thinning your crop. When people go out and plant their seeds, you have a packet and there's more seeds in there than you're supposed to have, and you sprinkle them all out into your bed, and what do you know, they all grow and you have all these new plants coming up. Now, if you left them as they were, they would crowd each other out and you'd never get what you're actually trying to grow because they'd all be fighting for the limited amount of sunlight that's there. So it's important when you go to plant your seeds to read on the packet carefully how much distance is supposed to be between one plant and the next, and it's important to maintain that distance. So thinning is something that you absolutely have to do so that your plants can produce what they're supposed to. You have to be careful when you're thinning, though, not just to pull up any old plant. Select the weakest ones, and if they're growing close together and you pull them, you're going to end up pulling the ones that you want to save as well because the roots intertwine. So when you go to thin, actually just break off the plants that you want to kill, and then you don't disturb the roots of the plants you're trying to save. All right, this is Stephen Seifelt. Join us again next week when we're going to be talking about my favorite subject, which is weeding.
Gardening tips brought to you by Fairbanks Stump Grinders and by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
All right.
teammates.
Yeah, that is. That is.
How you guys doing?
Not bad, not
It's
bad.
Friday.
This Sunday, Father's Day, I get to go golfing,
Ah.
which is really good, but I'm nowhere near as good as those guys out there today.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of that, we're going to go out to the links for some golf, and it's for a good cause. Cool. And we're going to preview the weekend of sports ahead, and we have some game results for interior teams playing here and in the lower 48. So stay tuned for sports. Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here to get your weekend started with some local sports. This morning at the Chena Bend Golf Course was the site of this year's Morris Thompson Memorial Golf Classic. Every parking spot was filled and every cart was out on the course as 32 foursomes who were sponsored by businesses competed for this year's crown, but it was all for a good cause. The tournament is in its 14th year and was created in honor of former Doyon Limited CEO Morris Thompson. This is the Doyon Foundation's major fundraiser for scholarship. Last year, over $100,000 were raised. Doyon's lines of business range from oil and gas services, tourism, natural resources, and government contracting. This golf event is also a chance for donors to meet the students who receive these scholarships. The money raised allows students like Marina Evans and Elizabeth Giroux to go to UAF debt-free.
I just recently had a baby. He's 6 months old, so it's a lot of help financially, and I don't have to pull out a student loan, which is a really big help.
It's really awesome to see people actively trying to help us, and it's a really good like pick me up for staying in school and getting those degrees.
That people come to support in memory of Morris, people who knew Morris, people who are very dedicated to our students as well, and raising money for students.
I think it's great. I think there's obviously a lot of support for it. I think they raise a fair amount of money, and it's a good cause. Very happy to be a part of it.
So which group won this year's tournament? Well, the title goes to Todd Hudson, Dave Atley, Gene Carlson, and John Castle. The foursome shot an amazing 35 under, shooting 109 total. That's pretty good. Two teams tied for second, both shooting 115 for 28 under. The team of Howard Thies, Keith Bartus, Gary Sundberg, and Gary Falls was one of the 28 under teams. Tom Halty, Jeff Greenwood, Jed Moore, and Sam Pitka were the other 28 and under foursome. Our very own Mike Schultz and his group, they finished 10th respectively. This year, they raised almost $200,000. In American Legion Baseball last night, the Fairbanks Post 30, or the Alaska Wild, played the Fairbanks 49ers, or Fairbanks Post 11 team. The Wild won 13-2 on Marlin Field, their second win of the summer season. West Valley's Tyler Chrisman threw 5 strikeouts in 5 innings and went 2 for 4 with a single and a double with 2 RBIs. The 49ers, though, they committed 8 errors in the loss. Lathrup's Terrell Ford and North Pole's Carmine Teal both went 2 for 3 from the plate for the Wild. The Wild will play Eagle River tomorrow in a doubleheader at 12:30. After today's Region 4 President's Cup games in Morgan, California, one local comp team is done and the other will play on. The Eclipse 99 girls lost 3-2 this afternoon to the Athena Red out of Northern California. Jamie Millis and Zolan Panique both scored game-tying goals, but Amelia Stifer scored the game winner at the 80th minute for Athena Red. The Eclipse finished 0-3 in the tournament. The Phoenix 99 boys, they were shut out by South LA United 5-0. LA United scored in the first 2 minutes and never looked back, but the Phoenix, they advanced to a Saturday morning quarterfinal game against the Wolfpack from Huntington, California. And Thursday evening inside West Valley High School Stadium, runners came out for the second all-comers track meet of the month. Last week was a bit of a damper with rain and threatening clouds, but last night it was pretty great for running. For the kids, 9-year-old Brad Baker, he won the 100 and 200 meter dash, and 10-year-old Island Snyder won the 400 meters by 1 second over Baker. The big winner was Ryan Kramer, though. He won the 200, 400, and 800 meter dashes. Cedar Gray, he repeats as the 100 meter dash winner, finishing in 12 seconds flat, but it was close. Gray was just 0.2 seconds faster than Kramer. William Mitchell, he set the pace in the mile run and finished with a solid time of 5 minutes and 38.4 seconds. Jordan Opp won the 3,000 meters in 13 minutes and 13 seconds, and Aaron Bravo won the 5,000 meters in 18:54. The next track event at West Valley High School will be on Thursday, June 26th, for the Jim Loftus mile run. Now let's see what's going on for interior sports this weekend. Saturday morning at 10 a.m. is the 22nd annual Mosquito Meander 5K race at Pioneer Park. Then at 11 a.m. will be the Midnight Sun Run Bib Pickup, also at Pioneer Park at the Civic Center. And that's going to wrap up at 3 p.m. At 12:30 at Arco Field. The Alaska Wild take on Eagle River in American Legion Baseball. The first game is 9 innings, and the second game will be 7. Then on Sunday, the third race in the Running Club North Trail Series, the Wickham Dome Trail Run. That's at 11 a.m. at the White Mountains Trailhead, 28-mile Elliott Highway, and that is a 7.75-mile race. Also, trap shooting, days 2 and 3 of the Pitt Estate Shoot on Saturday and Sunday, starting at 11 a.m. at the Fairbanks Trap Club. Saturday is the Alaska State Singles Championship, and Sunday are the State Doubles and Handicap Championships. Sports tonight, your full weather forecast is next. And as always, we'll catch you next time.
Welcome back to the broadcast, everyone. We're going to take a look at your weather, starting with the almanac. Our normal high on this date is 71 degrees. Our normal low, 49 degrees. Now, a record was set in 1994. I was a sophomore in college up at UAF. 90 degrees for that day. A low of 32, that is freezing, in 1922. Sunrise, sunset, 3:04 a.m., 12:42 a.m. gives us 21 hours and 37 minutes. That is a gain of 3 minutes over yesterday. Going to go ahead and now take a look at conditions across the state. As you can see, things are kind of drying out a little bit, but not for long across the entire state, although we had rain showers here in the interior, as well as on the Panhandle. Juneau, our state capital, getting some rain, as well as some drops reported in Ketchikan. On the west coast, looking pretty nice. Highs in the mid-50s to low 60s up across the board. And Barrow experiencing some fog today. In the interior, Fort Yukon, 70 degrees. Not bad. They'll take it. Taking a look at the lower 48, and let's see what we can see. Of course, storm system up in there in the Pacific Northwest, but we have to talk about a moderate risk of severe thunderstorms in the forecast for Saturday. We'll get into that in just a minute. Taking a look at the rest of the West Coast down a little further south, and it's looking pretty nice. Las Vegas, 99 degrees, but look at that. Phoenix, 108 degrees. Now that is hot, I tell you. Hot. Let's go ahead and take a look what we are going to see early this next week and into Saturday. Now, that severe risk of severe thunderstorms, very large hail, damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes are likely across much of Nebraska, Kansas, and western Iowa. And severe storms will also occur over northeastern Colorado, the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, and the eastern Dakotas into Minnesota as those summer conditions percolate those thunderstorms, and some of them can be severe at times. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look back at Alaska, starting up north. Dense fog for Barrow for tomorrow, showers for Nome, and possibility of isolated thunderstorms for Fort Yukon. Taking a look here in the interior, isolated showers and thunderstorms for us here in Fairbanks. Showers for Healy, mostly cloudy. Temperatures in the 60s to 70s. Not bad, it's warm, but it's going to be wet. Taking a look right now at the southeast, rain likely for Juneau. There is a slight chance for rain as well in Ketchikan, although that graphic certainly makes it look like they're going to get some rain. In the southwest, cloudy to partly cloudy at Cold Bay and Kodiak. Temperatures right where they should be this time of year in the high 40s to mid 50s. And taking a quick look right there in south central, light rain for Anchorage and Homer as well as Valdez. Temperatures in the mid to lower 50s there. Okay, let's go ahead and move on as we take a look at our forecast tonight. 51 degrees, an overnight low, cloudy, once again, isolated showers possible, but we're all interested in the weekend, so let's go ahead and take a look at Saturday, tomorrow. There is a chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms possible, much like today, where, you know, it can be raining across town, but go to the west and not a drop has fallen, so it's going to be like that through the weekend. Take a look at Sunday. Now we have possibilities of thunderstorms through the weekend. In fact, for much of the 5-day forecast there. But temperatures, if you notice, are slowly starting to percolate right up there in the 70 degrees. That's where we like to see it, especially coming upon solstice, which is going to be here really soon.
Wow, so lots of rain, huh?
Well, no, not really. Like I was saying, you know, it can be raining in one part of town, dry as a bone on the other side. But, you know.
Always looks threatening. Like, I'll be outside, like, you know, shooting games and stuff. Like, man, it's about to rain. It's like nothing happens. So.
Well, I lived in the Midwest for a couple of years, and those are threatening clouds. And so when you see them here, not so much, but I haven't really seen the lightning associated with some of these thunderstorms.
But the question is, guys, is what's it going to do for the midnight sun run?
I don't know yet.
Has it ever rained at the midnight sun run?
It has.
Yeah, we've had some sprinkles on us.
We've broadcast live there there are plenty of times when
Okay.
it's rained. So,
Hopefully
absolutely.
it doesn't happen this year.
Maybe we'll
right.
get
You know, we got to keep
empty
the hair
threat clouds
fluffed.
or
No, I'm just
Right,
kidding.
exactly. Well, it's actually really good for the runners because it keeps them cool.
That's true.
All right.
There's no downpours.
Right. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, the tough choices facing President Obama as the Iraq crisis deepens. That's next with Brian Williams.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webster11.com.
Okay, are you good?
I am good.
Are you good?
I'm solid.
All right, I'm good too. From all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great night and a better weekend.